Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Sport This Week video. And in today's video, I have basketball, tennis, football, UFC, boxing, and F1 news. If you are new around here though, and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like video, and let's get straight into it. So, starting off this week, I'm gonna start off with the tennis news, where it was the Davis Cup, which Djokovic took part in, and Great Britain and Medvedev. I'll explain more about the Great Britain bit in a minute. But Djokovic won 2-0 versus Novak. And then the Great Britain thing is basically 4 games, 2 singles, and 2 doubles games. And out of them 4 games decides the winner. It's free. It's like best of 3 basically. So they might only play 3 games if it's like 2-1 or 2-0 or something. But yeah, so Great Britain won 2-1 versus France. Medvedev won 2-0 versus Gomez. Djokovic won 2-0 versus Struff. Kacic and Djokovic lost 2-1 versus Krawiec and Puets. Great Britain won 6-3 versus Czech Republic, and Medvedev won 2-0 versus Carreno Busta. So yeah, that is all the tennis news now. Moving on, I'm going to go to the UFC news now, where Ngannou will fight Gane on the 22nd of January, which is a massive fight. 2 big contenders for the welterweight title or heavyweight title. And so yeah, that will be interesting. I think at the moment, I believe it is still John Jones or Usman, but that might be the welterweight. Well, they are in welterweight, so I don't think that counts as heavyweight. I don't know. But yeah, either way, that's going to be a really good fight, and I'm looking forward to that. I'll definitely do a prediction for that when it comes around to it. But yeah, that's all the UFC news, as there wasn't actually any fights this week. Moving on to the F1 news, where there's only a little bit, as there was no Grand Prix this week. The Spanish Grand Prix will be has been renewed until 2026, so that won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Moving on to the boxing news, where there is actually there is actually a fight that went down. Cambosos Jr. won via split decision versus Lopez to become the WBA, WBO, IBF, and the Ring lightweight champion. So congratulations to him. Big upset that. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna go to the basketball news now, where Bulls won 109-103 versus Knicks. Celtics won 108-90 versus Rockets. Bulls lost 109-77 versus Pacers. 76ers won 102-94 versus Kings. Heat won 100-92 versus Pistons. Lakers lost 106-100 versus Knicks. Clippers lost 112-104 versus Mavericks. Lakers won 124-116 versus Pacers. Celtics lost 123-124 versus Nets. Heat lost 113-101 versus Timberwolves. Bulls lost 118-113 versus Rockets. 76ers won 116-96 versus Warriors. Clippers won 107-96 versus Pistons. Bulls won 123-88 versus Magic. Lakers lost 141-137 versus Kings. 76ers lost 121-120 versus Timberwolves. Heat won 107-104 versus Bulls. Clippers lost 105-90 versus Warriors. And Celtics won 109-97 versus Raptors. And yeah, that is all the basketball news now. I might introduce a new sport next week. I'm not going to give it away too much, but I might. It's either next week or the week after I'll do it. But yeah, so moving on to the final sport this week. Pedri. Oh, it's football, by the way. Pedri won Golden Boy. Southgate has renewed his England contract until 2024. Bayern won 2-1 versus Kiev. Man U won 2-0 versus Villarreal. Benfica drew 0-0 versus Barcelona. Young Boys drew 3-3 versus Atalanta. Lille won 1-0 versus Salzburg. Sevilla won 2-0 versus Wolfsburg. Malmo drew 1-1 versus Zenit. Chelsea won 4-0 versus Juventus. Ajax won 2-1 versus Besiktas. Inter won 2-0 versus Shakhtar. Leipzig won 5-0 versus Bruges. Man City won 2-1 versus PSG. Milan won 1-0 versus Atletico. Liverpool won 2-0 versus Porto. Sporting won 3-1 versus Dortmund. Real Madrid won 3-0 versus Sheriff. Lazio won 3-0 versus Lokomotiv Moscow. Galatasaray won 4-2 versus Marseille. Midtjylland won 1-0 versus Ludogorets. Betis won 2-0 versus Ferencváros. Leverkusen won 3-2 versus Celtic. West Ham won 2-0 versus Vienne. Zagreb drew 1-1 versus Genk. Lyon won 3-1 versus Brøndby. Rangers won 2-0 versus Prague. PSV won 2-0 versus Sturm. Monaco won 2-1 versus Sociedad. Leicester won 3-1 versus Legia. Olympiacos won 1-0 versus Fenerbahce. Frankfurt drew 2-2 versus Antwerp. Mura won 2-1 versus Spurs. Arsenal won 2-0 versus Newcastle. Liverpool won 4-0 versus Southampton. Dortmund won 3-1 versus Wolfsburg. Villa won 2-1 versus Palace. Wolves drew 0-0 versus Norwich. Atalanta won 1-0 versus Juventus. Barcelona won 3-1 versus Villarreal. Brentford won 1-0 versus Fulham. Leicester won 4-2 versus Watford. Man City won 2-1 versus West Ham. Sassuolo won 3-1 versus Milan. Chelsea drew 1-1 versus Man U. Leverkusen won 3-1 versus Leipzig. Napoli won 4-0 versus Lazio. And Real Madrid won 2-1 versus Sevilla. And yeah, that is all the football news. Not loads of that much interest, just a lot of scores really. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you have enjoyed. If you are new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you did indeed like the video. And thanks for watching.